Welcome to my channel to listen to sinister stories. It was a dark and stormy night as I toiled away in my dimly lit office, desperately trying to complete a crucial report that loomed over me like a haunting specter. The flickering light of my desk lamp cast eerie shadows on the walls, adding to the aura of foreboding. Consumed by the weight of my impending deadline, I sipped on a cup of tea in hopes of warding off exhaustion. Time seemed to lose its meaning as the clock struck midnight, and the world outside my office fell into an abyss of silence. But suddenly, a faint yet unmistakable knock resonated through the air, piercing the stillness of the night. Confusion and unease washed over me, for who would dare disturb my solitude at such an unholy hour? Curiosity mingled with trepidation as I ventured toward the front door. In the hallway, a foreboding chill hung in the air, electrifying the atmosphere. Peeking through the peephole, I beheld an empty porch, devoid of any visitors. Perhaps it had merely been a trick of the mind, a figment of my overworked imagination. In my fatigued state, I dismissed the thought and returned to my office, burying myself once again in the sea of unfinished work that demanded attention. Time lost all meaning as the minutes merged into hours, yet the eldritch knocking did not return. Exhaustion began gnawing at my weary body, weighing down my every movement. But just as I mustered the strength to call it a night, a spine-chilling sight froze me in my tracks. In the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of a pair of unblinking eyes peering at me from the window across the room. My heart skipped a beat as if gripped by an icy hand, while my mind desperately sought rational explanations for this haunting encounter. With a swift, ghostly movement, the intruder vanished into the shadows, leaving behind a lingering feeling of terror. Shaking with fear, I remained transfixed, unable to tear my gaze away from the window. The veil of normalcy had been cruelly ripped away, revealing a world teeming with unknown horrors. Summoning whatever courage I had left, I barricaded myself by covering the window, my mind racing with unanswered questions. Driven by a sense of urgency, I braved the silence and ventured outside my office. Peering through the peephole once more, I scanned the front yard, but the trespasser remained concealed. Taking hesitant steps, my eyes darted from window to window, searching for any sign of the intruder. But the darkness outside offered no solace, only an ominous void. Returning to my office, my trembling hand reached for my phone, desperation oozing from every pore. I dialed the number for help, my voice reduced to a trembling whisper as I pleaded for swift assistance from the authorities. Time felt interminable as I clung to the fragile hope that their arrival would shatter the nightmare and restore my shattered peace of mind. But the arrival of the police yielded no answers. With bated breath, I listened as they roamed through the house, scrutinizing every corner. Yet the mysterious intruders remained elusive. A maddening enigma conspired to torment my every thought, leaving me to question the very fabric of my reality. To this day, the puzzle remains unsolved. How had the intruder breached the sanctity of my home undetected? What sinister motives lay behind their haunting visitation? The memory of that fateful night lingers like a recurrent nightmare, a constant reminder that the veil between safety and terror is as thin as a whisper. As I reminisce upon these events, a lingering fear grips my soul, a constant reminder that the malevolent specters might one day return. Luck had favored me once, but I refused to rely on its capricious embrace. Vigilance and preparedness stand as bastions against the encroaching darkness. For in the realm of nightmares, safety exists solely in our ability to confront the unknown. Ascertaining the purpose behind his presence consumed just a brief moment of observation. My instincts kicked in when I discovered the disconcertingly loose exterior handle of my front door. A mere pull to the side revealed the inner workings of the lock, implying that he had diligently attempted to remove it. The unsettling truth emerged. He was perilously close to breaching the confines of my sanctuary. Uncertain of any connection the enigmatic elderly lady from prior may have had to this sinister occurrence, I couldn't help but ponder the probing inquiries she had made. Her line of questioning centered around the presence of other inhabitants in my abode, arousing suspicion that she possibly sought information to determine my vulnerability as a potential target for their nefarious plans. It has been several months since that chilling encounter, and neither the woman nor the enigmatic intruder has reappeared. For the past decade, I have sought solace in leading a tranquil existence in the eerie depths of Utah, nestled in a small cabin amidst a community of like-minded individuals. Our homes peppered the landscape, interspersed between sprawling fields and towering mountains. Though I did not partake in farming, my property boasted vast expanses of grassy land bordering those majestic peaks. Nearly 10 haunting months have eclipsed since a night that forever shattered my sense of security. It was approximately 8:00 p.m. My customary hour of repose outside by the crackling fire pit, engrossed in the glow of my laptop screen. However, that fateful night ushered an eerie alteration. Through the mesmerizing dance of the flames, an ominous sound pierced the silence. Raising my eyes, I beheld a figure emerging from the darkness, positioned directly opposite me, barely 15 feet away. This man, a typical embodiment of locals in their 40s, exuded an imposing yet weathered demeanor, enhanced by a formidable gray beard. My chair creaked as I stood up, my voice betraying a subconscious tremor as I confronted the stranger, demanding an explanation for his presence and the enigma of his sudden appearance. But his gaze fixed upon me hinted at a malevolence ready to be unleashed. Transfixed, he disregarded my inquiries, diverting his attention toward my dwelling. Anxiety knotting in the pit of my stomach, I focused unwaveringly upon him as he proceeded to approach the front of my cabin. Stopping at a window, he cast a quick, clandestine glance inside, muttering incomprehensible words under his breath. Abruptly, he pivoted away, his purpose unspoken and unfathomable, vanishing into the abyss of the surrounding trees. The sheer audacity of this stranger's brazen proximity to my sacred abode indicated a calculated move, devoid of happenstance. The hour, the mannerisms, and the unsettling atmosphere all coalesced to create a tapestry of inexplicable dread. I hastily extinguished the fire, a harbinger of danger, retreating into the protective shield of my domicile, conscientiously securing every entrance. In anticipation of potential malevolence, I retrieved my sidearm, a disquieting reminder that I now tread alone on uncertain ground. Summoning the authorities seemed futile, as our secluded locale called for a response time that rendered it an impractical course of action. I braced myself for an ordeal that I must face unaccompanied, as dictated by the desolate norms of this forsaken place. Aware that I was now at the mercy of my own instincts, I remained vigilant throughout the night, delaying the solace of sleep until the darkness relinquished its hold. Hours drifted gloriously, and perhaps around 1:00 a.m. or even 2:00 a.m. Exhaustion eventually overpowered my determination, and I succumbed to the couch's embrace. Awakening to an unusual symphony, a constant gusting of wind permeating the humble abode, my senses jolted me awake. Perplexed, fatigued, and disoriented, I pivoted my gaze towards the front entrance, only to be met with a horrifying sight. The door swung wide open, a gateway into my dwelling that I distinctly remembered having locked. Panic surged through my veins as I rushed to close and secure it, scanning the darkness outside for glimpses of the trespasser who dared violate the sanctity of my home. The deafening silence revealed no ominous presence lurking within. With trepidation clawing at the edges of my consciousness, I ventured further into the dwelling, cautiously inspecting each room, searching for traces of an unwelcome intruder. Yet my pursuit yielded no tangible evidence of their nefarious presence. Alone with my racing thoughts, I remained awake throughout the remainder of the night, awaiting the sanctuary of dawn's light. As the sun's rays tiptoed upon the horizon, illuminating the desolate landscape, I hastened into town to document the harrowing events that transpired, filing a meticulous report with the local authorities. While a violation of my cabin's serenity had undoubtedly occurred, the enigma rested within the elusive motive. Trivial objects vanished from their rightful places, indicating the intruder's presence during my unconscious slumber. Yet their absence held little intrinsic value. Remarkably, I remained unscathed, my well-being seemingly unimportant to these nameless assailants. The purpose behind their intrusion remained veiled in shadow, leaving me gripped by an unfathomable uncertainty. Without knowledge of their intent, a looming question persists: will they return, their malevolence unleashed once more upon my weary soul?